Welcome to Coding with Seth. We're going to be recreating the circular animation you see here, using frame of motion and React. So, let's get started. So as you can see, we have our previous loading animations which we worked on in other tutorials. You'll be able to get to those here. The first step is to create our new component. Let's create a new circle loader component. As always, we need to import React. And let's export our component. We'll just start off with a basic div to make sure it works. We'll comment out our other bouncing ball and 3 dots wave components because we're not really going to be focusing on those in this tutorial. Next, we'll add our new component. So we're going to import the circle loader, which we've just created. And this is just going to be empty to begin with, so let's fill that out now. Before we start animating it, we need to make it look like a circle loader. So let's add a style. We're going to use an inline style rather than CSS just for the tutorial because I think it's easier to see everything on screen at once. So inside a container, we're going to have a single span, circle style, and we're going to have container style. So for our container, let's set this up first. The reason we have a container is that because we actually want to animate the circle and not the container. For the circle itself, we're going to give it a definite width, a height, and a border. The border is actually what we're going to see when the rotation animation happens. We'll make it quite a thick border because that's what we're going for. So it's going to start off as a square, but what we can actually do really easily with CSS is give this a border radius of 50%, and that smooths everything out and we get a perfect circle. We're also going to set the position to absolute. Our container needs to be relative and our child needs to be absolute, so we can position it and rotate it without it affecting anything outside the boundaries. Now that we've got our circle style set up, it's positioned correctly and it looks pretty good, we can import frame of motion and start animating it. So as always, we're going to import motion from frame of motion, and we're going to turn that circle style span into a motion.span, and we're going to set an animate prop, rotate 360. So that's going to spin 360 degrees, but it's only going to happen once. So as always, we jump into the transition and we're going to create a spin transition. What we need to do is have the animation infinitely loop because that's what's going to have the loading effect. Okay, so we have it looping infinitely, but you get this kind of slow down and speed up, and that's because of the easing by default. So let's set our easing to linear. With a linear easing, it means that the animation plays smoothly the entire time. We're not doing any slow down, ease in, ease out, anything like that. So this gives us the effect we want. And that's all there is to it. We have a loading spinner animation in frame of motion in just a few minutes. Thanks for watching. I hope you found this short video tutorial useful. If you have any more suggestions, leave some comments down below and don't forget to subscribe. This has been Coding with Seth. Until next time.